bust it.
All right, here's the scenario for today's show. We're on a mission to have some fun with a legendary MC, a pioneer of the rap game. He was born to rock the earth, Grammy Award-winning, Bust It. Young MC is in the building. What's up, Young?
Gentry, good, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing really good, man. You know, we work with Big Shaq Diesel around here, and I heard a rumor that you have a Lakers song that you wrote some time ago, and it's been ready for release, but it's been stuck in the lost files. Is that true?
I don't. Well, all right. There was a record called. Basically, it was about the Lakers three-peat. So this would have been around 1988, 1989, and it was supposed to be the record after Funky Cold Medina for Tone Loc, and it never came out. So I don't even know if I have the lyrics around, but yeah, that was definitely something that was created and was something that was in the hopper, but just never came to pass.
Now, you're an East Coast guy, but a lot of people in the rap game associate you with the West Coast because that's kind of when you had your breakout. When it comes to your basketball fandom, are you Knicks? Are you Lakers? Or are you a big sports fan?
I am a big sports fan. I grew up in New York, man, so I have to tell you that New York sports teams stay in you regardless of where you go. So it's, I lived in Queens. The closest sports team to my house, because I wasn't really looking at the Islanders, it was Knicks, Jets, Mets, and Rangers. So I've always been a Knicks fan. And then, was a Lakers fan, secondarily when I was in L.A., follow the Suns now that I'm here in Arizona. But the Knicks are my longtime team.
Congratulations on the new single, Fun Part. It's awesome to see your name back on the charts again. I just read an article on Billboard that says, I'll read the headline, Young MC charts his first new hit in over 20 years. So the fans want to know, what have you been up to these last couple of decades?
Well, the first decade, because it was from a song called Heat Seeker that hit the charts in 2002. So that first decade, like the aughts, if you will, up to 2010, 11, I was still creating music and, doing some touring, but the main focus was creating music and trying to get songs out there to kind of resonate with people and also grow as an artist, grow as a producer, and just kind of make an impact. And then from the early 2010s on, it's been touring like crazy. I did a tour in Australia in 2012 and then came back and was doing dozens of shows each year. The I Love the 90s tour started off in 2015, and I did 110 shows in 2016. Basically 4 nights a week, most weekends. And I'm, it just was a lot of touring and a lot being in front of people and a definitely different approach of communicating my music. And in doing that and being in front of so many people, it motivated me to get back in the studio and start creating music with the stage in mind. So that's where my new stuff, including Fun Part, has come from, that I'm like, okay, man, this will be great to be performed in front of people. And that's had me, make some good music to put out. And it looks like,
and the label is called Disco Theory. By the way,
Disco Theory, yes.
A disco song just came back to me. I don't know if you remember the song, Young Hearts, Run Free.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
That song, I don't know why it's been on my playlist lately, and I can't hear it enough. And disco music, I think it needs to make a comeback. What's the theory behind you and Disco Theory? What is this Disco Theory?
Like Casey from Casey and the Sunshine Band was a great songwriter, but he was stigmatized because he made disco. There are a lot of incredible. Rico Casey was an amazing songwriter, but because his stuff was 80s, they kind of pigeonhole it. But there were some amazing creative people that have made genre-type music. So that, like, Young Hearts is a great disco record. There's some amazing, like, you go back and listen to some disco compilations, and some of the songwriting is really good. So I take a lot from that. And part of me calling the label Disco Theory was because at one point when they were, burning records at baseball stadiums, disco was a four-letter word, and now you have a whole genre of dance music that is essentially disco with a heavier beat. So, and also how the music was created and how loose it was. A lot of disco records would start off at one speed, and because the musicians got excited, it would end up faster than it started. That kind of approach to music fascinated me, so that's why I call the label Disco Theory.
Our guest today, Young MC, has a new single. Make sure you go watch it on YouTube. The video Fun Part. It's a fun song that I think the world needs. Definitely put you in a good mood with that bass line, so check it out. And everybody knows Young MC, of course, from the iconic song Bust a Move. But I'm not sure everybody knows this, that you wrote the lyrics. That's what happens when body starts slapping from doing the Wild Thing. You wrote Tone Loc's Wild Thing, correct?
Yeah, I wrote 3 verses. The Body Start Slapping, I think, was his, but the other 3 verses are mine.
Okay.
But yes, absolutely. The first draft of Wild Thing and the first draft of Funky Comedina came off my pen. And then, him and the label made some changes to it to make the records that he made. And people always ask me why I didn't perform them. Those were made for Tone to perform with his voice and his cadence and his wit. You know, he brought the most out of those songs. He brought more out of those songs than I ever could have imagined doing as an artist. And
Tone was at your wedding or in your wedding? You guys are still super close, right?
Oh, yeah. Tone was at my wedding. He had a great time at my wedding. Actually did an impromptu performance at my wedding. Montel Jordan officiated my wedding. I had Rob Bass there. Freedom Williams from CNC Music Factory. All for One was there. All 4 members of All for One was there. I mean, I had a really good time at my wedding. And these are my coworkers, but people like Tone. I've known Tone 38 years. You know, so these are people that are really, good and close friends, and I was so happy that they were able to share such a special day with me.
Did Bust a Move get a play at your wedding? Did it get a spin?
I don't think it did. The DJs were friends of mine, and there were a lot of other artists there, so they didn't really feel a need. Like, if I was the only known artist at my own wedding, maybe there was a chance, but I had really good DJs there, and a couple artists like Freedom. Really, Freedom did an amazing performance. Him and his singer Smooth Jammy did a really amazing performance during my wedding. So stuff like that was taking up the time, and everybody had a great time there.
I feel like Bust a Move could be one of the most played songs at weddings, or the most requested song at weddings, because it's a fun song, and it even talks about being in a wedding in the lyrics. Have you been asked to perform that song at weddings before?
Yes.
And
I have. There's been a couple weddings that I've done, a lot of weddings that I won't do. If it's something that comes through my agent and agency, and they have groups going up, and you can see the level of care and production that goes into it, then it'll be something I'd want to do. But then there's people that'll just message you on social media and say, hey, me and my wife really like your song. How much would it cost? And I turn them on to my agent, and then my agent can see if they're serious or not. But yes, I've been asked a lot of times to perform the song. Yes.
Yeah, it's definitely spun at a lot of weddings, and it's a great song. I read that you wrote Bust a Move from your dorm room, so I'm curious, where did you go to college? What did you study? And talk about that process of writing that song in your dorm room. Okay,
I went to University of Southern California. I studied economics. I have a bachelor's degree in economics and a minor in data processing, which was the computer programs of the day. So COBOL, BASIC, Fortran, you learn all these languages, and then they give you a certificate at the end of it. I wrote Bust a Move during I guess it would have been during my senior year. And the process was, I go to class, I'd have professors, tell me the stuff they needed to tell me. I'd take my notes, read the textbooks, go home, go to the dorm or my campus apartment, do my homework, and I'd literally have an hour to 2 hours before bedtime that I could do the stuff I wanted to do. So I was given the track for Bust a Move, and I had 2 hours. I took about 90 minutes. It was a flow of consciousness, and I made a song that I called Make That Move because we didn't have a title at the time. So I said, okay, I'm going to call it Make That Move, and the label changed it to Bust a Move. And the rest pretty much is history. There was not one lyric change, nothing. It was a flow of consciousness. I didn't even have a rhyming dictionary, which I used extensively today. I didn't even have a rhyming dictionary then. It literally was just stuff that just came off my head for 90 minutes. I made the 4 verses, and it changed my life.
So many people know that song from beginning to end and can sing it at the drop of a hat. So, people love those lyrics, and kudos to you. Also part of the story, a friend of our radio station, Shaq Fu Radio, the legend, the DJ Red Alert, I heard was the first DJ to play your record. How did you talk DJ Red Alert into playing your song? How did that come about?
Okay, so the song he played was Let 'Em Know. He was definitely the first nationwide DJ to play it, and definitely the first New York DJ. He was very high profile. I made that song Let 'Em Know in 1987, and Red Alert played it, and when I heard I let him know on Red Alert's show. I jumped up and down, being a kid from New York, but being a bit detached because I was in L.A. going to college and making my music out there. But knowing that really the first single that I'd made resonated enough for DJ Red Alert to play it was amazing, because there wasn't a lot of West Coast music played on Red Alert's show in 1987. I could almost guarantee that there was none. So that was a big deal for me to hear that there.
How did you get the record to him? You handed it to him personally, or the label got it to him somehow?
No. I mean, the label was promoting it, so DJs would get it. I would assume that Delicious would have mailed it to him or gotten it to a DJ that was able to get it to him, but I'm pretty sure that he would have played it off the vinyl. And the vinyl was available for sale as well. But I'm pretty sure he would have played it off the vinyl, because that single did not have a cassette or a CD for it.
We're chopping it up here with Young MC's got a new hit out on the charts. It's called Fun Part. Make sure you also check him out. Is there a website where we can follow you or check out what you got going on?
YoungMC.com, but I'm looking for followers on Instagram. My IG is YoungMC89. So YoungMC89, please follow me on Instagram. I'd really appreciate it.
Another thing I'd like to ask you about, I know Delicious Vinyl, the label you were on, and Ruthless Records, the two were collaborating and doing a lot of things back in the late 80s, and you were out on tour with NWA. Can you talk about that experience, Eazy-E, Ice Cube, and I mean, being on that tour had to be some stories.
Oh, yeah. Well, the interesting thing was that they knew me from the local scene in Los Angeles. So from September of 87 to May of 89, when Bust a Move came out, those were local times for me that I cherish and helped build me into a great artist. So those guys knew me, and I'm actually thanked on Eazy-E's album and the NWA album as MC Young. But they knew me from all the local places in L.A. And I played, Southern California venues with them. I played Vegas with them. When I saw Straight Outta Compton, there was so much in there that I remembered from that time in those venues that it was just a good thing, man. It was a cool thing. And what was great about it was that they did their gangster stuff, but they respected the fact that I was clean, but they also respected the fact that I was a rapper from New York, had my New York skills, but I was embracing the West Coast, and they embraced me. So a lot of what made me really comfortable on the West Coast and comfortable in that scene was Eazy-E's embracing of me. And I'm very thankful for that, and the fact that I was able to share the stage with NWA and DOC and Ice-T and a lot of those guys. It's just been a really good thing for my background and to keep me going now.
A lot of people in hip-hop show you a lot of love and respect. I know the crew from Public Enemy, they love you. Chuck D, you've said, has been a mentor to you. When you're looking for advice, you call Chuck. What's some of the best advice you got from Chuck D?
Well, Chuck is more of I learned from example with Chuck. So Chuck has always been, what he says as opposed to how he says it. So even looking at him as an artist and his approach, and, I remember doing an interview with him, and he had his hat pulled down. He said, "You don't want him to see your eyes." Just stuff, just anecdotes that I got from him that I was just really, even though our music was different, he's a really shrewd guy, really, really intelligent and a smart guy in terms of the approach of his to the music business. And then he was appreciative of me in terms of my songwriting and also my approach to it, that I wasn't swearing in my music. And also I helped introduce a lot of West Coast stuff into the rap atmosphere. So all of those things. And then a quick anecdote, within the last week, Flavor Flav had sent me a video of him doing karaoke, Bust a Move, at a party. And he did it was like a minute plus video of someone doing a karaoke and Flav doing a hype man of it and filming it and thanking me. And it's like the greatest thing, man. It's like Flavor Flav is sending me videos on my phone. Yeah, I'll always have love for Public Enemy.
The song still hits after all these years, 35 years, I believe. But your new song, Fun Part, I really respect the fact that you tried something unique with artificial intelligence. I'm curious, what's your thoughts on AI and its involvement with the music business, and how will it affect it in the future?
To answer that question, the way that I use it, the way that I've heard it used as a tool where you still have someone's creativity leading the way, I'm thinking that's the best way to use it, whether it be for visuals or for audio or whatever. The people that sit there and just hit a button and say AI is going to make the whole song, that doesn't really add to anything. And now you see, the lawsuits happening and all that stuff. It's like I never wanted to incorporate AI into my music to that extent. I always wanted my artistry to kind of lead the way and AI to be a tool that I can use to assist. So my AI character is named Disco Teresa. She does, the character does my label tag and also plays the hype man role in the songs with interjecting lyrics and interjecting phrases, and also does some help on the hooks. And it's still, based on the stuff that I input. It's still based on the creative stuff that I do, but it puts a new spin on an approach to, making music that I enjoy, and I'm hoping that people are enjoying.
Yeah, AI is a great tool, but also very scary at some of the things it can do. But as long as you're using it for the good, I think it could be really good for the music industry. And it wasn't long ago, Young MC, that I had Don McLean on the show, and of course he had the big song American Pie.
American Pie, yeah.
And that was his first single, and as we started talking about that song, he has this very complicated relationship with that song because he felt like he was constantly trying to chase American Pie. Do you have that complicated history relationship with the song Bust a Move?
I think I may have about the first 5 to 10 years after release, but as I've gotten older, the story that I say, okay, if you would know better, how many people are there in the United States? Would you say 350, 360 million people?
Yeah, at least 380. Yeah.
So if I told you somewhere around 225 to 250 million of those people know Bust a Move.
Oh yeah.
Does that seem crazy to you?
I think that's pretty accurate.
That's pretty accurate.
Yes.
So what else in my life would I do to touch 250 million Americans? And if I can't come up with it, and you can't come up with it, then the thing that allows me to touch that many people just here domestically, let alone the billion plus worldwide, I have a fine relationship with that song. That's how I look at it.
Man, what a great song it is. It will be continue to be spun. I mean, I have children that are in their teens. They sing the song. My generation sung the song. Even my dad's generation, they were a little bit older when the song came out, but they were busting a move. I mean, everybody.
It's right there. I literally, in an interview earlier today, said this for the first time, but I'll repeat it because you just said it. My dream in life is to make music that you have a grandparent, a parent, and a child discuss some of my music. My hope would be multiple titles, but even if it's all of them discussing one, I'm fine with that. The fact that I could touch 3 generations means the world to me. So I thank you for that.
Well, congratulations, man, and congrats on the new single, and much more success for you. You're still a young MC, man. Keep it up.
I'm trying, dude. Give Shaq my best.
I will. All right, brother. Peace out, man. Good catching up with you.